swear, Trisha Paytas seems to be back to her old trolling ways. And unfortunately, this time, Charli and Dixie D'Amelio and James Charles were caught in the crossfires. We're going to get into all of that starting now.
This is how I show.
Gorgeous gypsies, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for being here. I really hope you will join in on today's conversation. I love hearing what you guys have to say, and this is really just something else. So to give a little bit of context on what's going on here, as we all know, Charli and Dixie D'Amelio popped off overnight on TikTok and are now major influencers on that platform. Recently, they've really been trying to expand their influences to other platforms, such as YouTube. The other night, they started this new video series where they all sit down as a family for a lovely family dinner, and they invite different guests to come eat dinner with them. Their very first dinner guest was, of course, James Charles, which isn't really that surprising since he has been mentoring the D'Amelio sisters here lately. Now, in my overall opinion, James Charles was very professional in this dinner. The D'Amelio sisters' followers got very upset about this dinner because there was a lot of cringeworthy moments in this video, and it was just a little, very cringy. For instance, Dixie D'Amelio acted very ungrateful and very childish over the dinner that was displayed in front of them that a dear family friend and chef had created for them, and Dixie just was not having it. There was this one point where she sarcastically said, "Doesn't this dinner look amazing?" And literally, right after saying it, she had these very disgusting facial expressions. Then 5 minutes later, she was very dramatically leaving the table to go outside and vomit. If this wasn't bad enough, and I'm sure this was probably very disrespectful to the chef himself. I mean, if you didn't like it, just don't eat it. It's very simple, But the family said that Dixie's always super dramatic like that, and they just moved forward with the dinner. Now, James Charles, like I said, he was very professional. He answered the questions. He kept the momentum going, even throughout all these crazy things going on in the dinner. And Dixie and Charli both were just very different than what you see them on TikTok. At one point, they were talking about Charli and how she really did pop off overnight on TikTok and just how much she grew. And Charli made the comment that she would love to hit 100 million subscribers before the year was up. And James kind of gave her this friendly little jab by saying, "Is 95 million not enough?" And Charli's response was, "Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying even numbers." What was really cringy to me was the very ending of that dinner video. Charli and Dixie seemed to be trying to overpower each other by doing the outro, and you just could not understand what either one of them was saying. James Charles stepped in and was like, "Ladies, I got this. I'll do the intro." And he did it very well and very professionally. Now, the aftermath of this video was crazy, and Charli ended up losing 1 million followers, which is a pretty big deal in the big scheme of things. People thought she was being very ungrateful. Her and Dixie both acted very childish. But I think something we do have to remember here is these girls are kids. They're kids. So, of course, they're going to act childish. And I think the reason why people were so upset about the video was this was in a different light, right? So we usually see them on TikTok doing their little dances and being all cute and smiling from ear to ear. And this time it was with their families sitting down at dinner, and it was very personal. So these girls were showing their true colors and how immature they really are. And honestly, I don't even think they meant to do it on purpose. This is just them. They're kids. This is how kids act. And I think that we forget that, and we hold these influencers, no matter what age they are, to a different level because they are influencers. James did go on Twitter basically saying, "Hey, everybody cut her a break. She is a kid." She didn't think Charli meant anything bad about it. Pretty much, defending her and saying, hey, she didn't mean it to come off the way that it did. This should be the end of the story, right? We should be done with this story. This is what happened. No, this is Trisha's opportunity to pop off and attack James Charles like she has done quite a bit here lately. If anyone else has noticed, I've noticed it. I don't know if anyone else has. But she goes to TikTok and she makes this TikTok basically, I'm going to paraphrase because she did say some things that I don't know if you can even say here on YouTube. But she basically said that James Charles should not be hanging out out with Charli D'Amelio because she is underage. She said that their relationship seemed very inappropriate to her and that James Charles should know better, especially since he had the whole situation with Tati Westbrook a little over a year ago with Bye Sister and all the trauma that came with that for James Charles. Basically said that he should know better and should not be putting himself in a situation for the same thing to happen again, except this time with Charli. We all know that James has really been in the spotlight for drama plenty of times. And since this whole Bye Sister situation, James has done an incredible job with not responding publicly and just moving on with his life, being successful and not letting it get to him. But I guess this was like the cherry on top for James because he was not having it. And this is what he had to say.
How is it that James Charles is the victim in every single situation?
I didn't want to respond to this because I didn't want to give Trisha the attention that she's clearly craving. However, I've now been accused of being a child groomer, and this is not an accusation that I'm going to take lightly. To insinuate that the relationship between Charli and I is anything other than just a friendship is absolutely disgusting. I don't need Charli, and Charli does not need me. I became friends with the D'Amelio family as a whole very, very early on because this is all very, very new to them, and I wanted to be a friend and a mentor in any way that I possibly could. And Charli and I, despite not being the same age, had one thing in common, which is coming to the spotlight at a very, very young age. This is something that Trisha has never experienced because the only reason she's in the spotlight is because she has said racist things. She said the N-word. She's done blackface. She offended the trans community. She offended the DID community. She said Hitler wasn't that bad of a guy, voted for Trump, and has started a fight with about every single other creator on this platform. You are in no position to be talking about me and my career, so I highly recommend that you stop starting fights with people that are half your age, pack it up, and work on holding yourself and your best friends around you because they and you are the problem.
Wow. So, yeah, that happened. Actually, really surprised that James said anything at all, to be honest, but he really popped off, y'all. He was not playing. You could tell in this little clip that he is very upset. I mean, James already talks really quick, but this was like, he was going for Trisha. And I don't know. I can't really say that I blame him. Like I said, I feel like he usually does a really good job at dealing with drama outside of the internet. But Trisha has been kind of poking at him the last month or so for whatever reason. I mean, I don't know. All I know is if I was James, I probably would have responded to. And I think he did a pretty good job at his response. Now, there was this one part at the end where when he says the thing about Trisha and her friends are the problem. I'm not going to speculate. This is 100% my personal thoughts and opinions. But it does seem as if he could possibly be talking about Jeffree Star, maybe Shane Dawson, and talking about how those people that Trisha kind of hangs out with and advocates for are the problem, along with Trisha. Of course, Trisha went on her little Twitter rampage, and I'll pop them all up here. She had quite a bit to say to defend herself. She did mention at one point in one of her Twitter responses, she mentioned that, everything that he brought up, that James Charles brought up about her, is things that she did in her early 20s. And that it should not be held against her anymore because she has grown a lot and matured a lot. There was another tweet from someone completely different. I don't know who this is, but this guy said that Trisha Paytas just needs to accept that she is canceled. And Trisha retweeted this and responded, accepted. Now, this went on kind of all night, and I've been trying to keep up with it, you guys. I thought this was absolutely crazy. But what do you guys think? Do you think that Trisha Paytas is right and that James Charles should not be hanging out with these girls because they are underage and because of the whole situation with Tati Westbrook? Do you feel that he should know better and that this could turn out badly for him? Or are you team James Charles in this whole situation when he says that Trisha and her friends are the problems, that she needs to stay in her lane, stop coming after people that's much younger than her, and just deal with her own business? I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. Honestly, this is a breath of fresh air when it comes to drama because I am so excited to be talking about anything and everything other than Without a Crystal Ball. Things have been super quiet, and then this last week has just been like boom, 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 boom. Crazy things happening nonstop. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel. Hit the bell for post notifications. That way you are notified of every time I upload. I really appreciate you guys being here and watching. And until the next time, y'all, bye.